Okay, yeah, okay. Good. Good morning, YouTube. Yeah, that's how I always say it. I know it's so goofy. Um, but this morning I have a really good friend, real close friend of the family, friend uh, that I wanted to introduce to YouTube and to YouTube, our YouTube family. Uh, my friend Andrea, and wanted to talk about her business and the change in her life and how she became who she is today because of this. Um, we always in our morning conversations, and hold up, let me put on chat so when someone does show up in the conversations, we always talk about healthy living every once in a while. We talk about healthy transformations every once in a while, and moving up because I am a type 2 diabetic. Also, before I even started YouTube, I was morbidly obese. I'm just obese right now. Um, and everybody thinks there are so many, just there's just one way to a healthy lifestyle, one way to a healthy living, one way to uh, a healthy transformation, but there's many ways on the road of life, on the path to get to where you need to go. And I just wanted to bring in another way because the owner of this company is, type 2 diabetic also. And normally when you do stuff like that, everybody's like, well, you can't, you can't be, you know, all the vegetables. You can't, all the carbs and all this other stuff. And the glycemic index and everything else, when you start living a healthy lifestyle, you start losing the weight. It is another. There are different ways to do that, and this is what I want to talk about today. So, good morning, Andrea. What is happening with you?
What up, Darren? What up? What up? What up?
Okay. Um, my first question is why juicing? Why? What made you go this route instead of keto or low carb or anything like that?
Well, first of all, a lot of the other things are um, more cliche. A lot of the other things are just not more, but they're like a deterrent. That's how I took it. Like you always go to the doctor, and the first thing they tell you, or you go to a nutritionist, and the first thing they tell you is what you cannot eat. That is what I don't like. So basically, um, when I started this whole journey is when I got pregnant with my first son, and I have three sons. And I went through gestational diabetes first. So I didn't even realize that I was diabetic. However, we're going to speed that up. Now, that was when I was a little younger than what I am now. So, what they told me was you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't have this. Fast forward after my third son, um, I still had diabetes. So what put me on this journey was that my husband ended up getting um, COVID. And once he got COVID in 2020 is when everything was shutting down. We were watching basketball and the people just started to like they was like cut off the network, the broadcast and all that other stuff. And next thing you know, he had a doctor's appointment. Went to the doctor's appointment. I think he caught COVID that day because it was a man that came in. He was just like running through the whole entire office, which in New Jersey, it was a really big office where, you go in, you see the doctor, it's a huge waiting room, but there was only like four of us in there. I didn't know anything about masks covering up or anything. Fast forward, I'm going to break down what happened to him from that day. He didn't have an appetite. He was eating full plates of meals that I would cook, and he went down to eating a little kid's bowl of 3 tablespoons of, like, let's just say, oatmeal. And I was like, okay, something's weird. And the very next day, we had a video conference with his doctor. His doctor told us to come in. That's when we saw the guy running through. He ended up getting COVID. I didn't know it. Took him to the hospital because he was just talking funny, acting funny. I didn't know what was going on. Nothing was wrong with him. He never had surgeries before this point. Never even, nothing, nothing. I took him to the hospital and they took him in the back and they told me I can go home. And I was like, what you mean go home? And they were like, yeah, well, you can go home because your husband has COVID and we're going to keep him and we can't let other people in. So I left. I tried to sneak in a hospital. Long story short, they kept kicking me out. I got caught in the staircase. They kicked me out of the hospital. I went home because I just wanted to find out what was going on. When they did call me, they told me, "Oh, well, he has COVID, and um, we're gonna give him a blood transfusion." And I was like, "For what? For COVID?" And they were like, "No, he basically his kidneys are not functioning as well as they should, and we're gonna have to put him on we're gonna have to give him a blood transfusion, and also we're gonna have to end up putting him on dialysis." This was all in 2 days. So he went on dialysis. He was in the hospital. I didn't see him again for 67 days. My
Man,
husband went in, he was 210 pounds. By the time I seen him again, he was 164 pounds. He had lost all that weight. The doctors had told me he was like, the doctor was like, well, we have 40 patients on my floor, and your husband is like one of the 3 patients we're expecting not to make it. And I was like, okay. And I paused for a while, and it was a conference call, and it was me, his sister, his brother, and his mom on a conference call. They were in New York. I was in New Jersey. He was in New Jersey, a New Jersey hospital called Virtua at the time. And when I paused, I was like, well, I'm not getting that feeling. So I'm going to put my husband on a prayer list and we're going to see what happens from that point. Let's fast forward again. He ended up doing so good, and to the point where he did get out in 67 days. However, when he came home, my second son got COVID.
Jesus.
So I made up a mixture that my grandmother used to make back when we was little, and it had nothing to do with that mutton tallow that she used to make, which is lamb fat. However, I made up a concoction, and from that day, I started thinking, if I can get my son, if I can rid him of COVID, which at that time nobody was getting rid of anything, I just didn't record what I actually mixed together. And then for whatever reason, other people started recording what they were doing, and I just was like, no, I'm not. That's not for me. I'm not doing that. I'm just caring about my kids and my husband, and we trying to get better. Fast forward, he went on dialysis. I had him on a prayer line. He was only on dialysis for 2 years. Everybody else in the dialysis place was on dialysis for 10 years or more, except him. He was only on it for 2 years. After he got the kidney transplant, um, a lot of things started happening. So fast forward to, let's say, January of 2025. He's had, and as of today, he has had a multiple of 4 strokes. It changed his voice. It changed his walking. It changed us as a family. It changed a lot of different things. So I was, told, like, through the process of all of this, we've had about 15 funerals since then, and a lot of the funerals were people that had strokes, people that died of cancer, And I was like, something's got to give. So then I started doing my research and finding out that food is medicine. And the medicine that I currently give him are beets. Why? Because beets are helping his blood flow. Beets is something that he absolutely hates. Now, the ironic thing about beets is you don't need a lot, you need a little bit. But the doctors are not going to tell you what I'm telling you because they're in the business of pharmaceutical. I was asked to go into the nursing field and I refused because I'm not into medicine. That's not my vibe. My vibe is food. So what I do is for him, it is a I came up with a whole list of stuff that I make for blood flow. And it's ginger, it's beets, it's watermelon, it's lemon. There's a whole bunch of different ones, but that's a main one for him because he hates beets. So I had to figure out how do I get this dude to drink these beets without him saying, well, I'll just drink it because it's nasty. He's not that guy. He's not going to drink it because it's nasty. He's just not going to drink it at all. So I had to incorporate other things together to see if he would drink it. My first one was an epic fail. All I did was take real beets and mix it up with pineapple. That was bad. Kept trying. Fast forward, I can get him to drink beets 3 times a week, and I'm talking about 30.
Gotcha.
I'm talking about at least um what's under the 32-ounce jar, the ball jar. Whatever's under that, I have those jars. And I fill up the jar, and he can finish that jar in maybe like in 1 day. So I would say if I go downstairs right now and make beet juice and my whole mix, he's going to drink the whole thing. I have a sister in law, my brother Kenneth, his wife hates beets also. Her doctor told her she needs beets. This is all between last year and this year. I
Mhm.
make her a drink also.
Mhm.
The difference with her is with the drink that I made her, it was the same exact mix, except she lost weight on her mix. So that's when
Mhm.
I figured I'm on to something. So we're going to fast forward again. Now, the drinks that I actually make, I'm currently getting ready for an event today that I'm going to do in Maryland.
Mhm.
I'm not sure the part, yet, but like I don't know the names of the places because I've only been here going on 2 years. This Halloween will be 2 years that I've been in the state of Maryland. So what I learned is that the area that I live in, they don't have fresh pressed juice that you can buy. They have a juice bar around the corner called Tropical Cafe.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law went to Tropical Cafe and she had a headache within 30 minutes. I said, you
It's
got to
it's
be kidding me because it's
it's
loaded with sugar.
sugar and probably preservatives and stuff to keep it. It's. But go ahead.
Right. So Tropical Cafe is loaded. So I started doing more research and started following herbalists, and I learned that I can work on this. So I started getting now his health is getting better slowly, but very slowly because he has strokes. I've never had strokes, but I still have type 2 diabetes. However, they had me on insulin. They had me on a long lasting, and then the in between, like the meals, like you take the 15 units between meals, and you still have to. And I was like, I hate needles, and I'm gonna stop doing this. So I started doing my own research on myself. I went from taking 60 units of the long lasting, and I broke it down because remember, when you take your blood work, you only have 3 months before you go back and they check again. So I use that as a guideline every time. So I use my 3 months to do something different. And what I did was I started incorporating juicing. When I did that, my A1C went from 14
Oh,
down
Jesus.
to 7.
Gotcha.
Now that I got my, well, at the time when I had my A1C down to 7, I was, just going through like a little bit of depressing spouts here and there about, what's going on with my life. How come I'm not getting this? How come I'm not getting that? Woe is me. And I was like, we're going to shake this off. We're going to give it that old Amityville pride and we're going to go
Yeah,
forward. Mentally,
been there, been there,
it was,
done that.
it was a mental play that I had to basically start praying and asking God for guidance. And when I did, and then I slowed down. So I did a multiple of things. And now I don't do anything unless it comes to me easy.
Mhm.
And juicing was the one thing that came to me easy. January of this year, I had to stop working abruptly because the stroke that my husband had, it affected his balance. So I was working in a place where I was working with the mentally disabled. I was washing them, bathing them, giving them medication. I had to go through all
Yeah.
the CPR. I had to go through everything medically. And I always said when I was younger, Grandma, there's no way I want to be a nurse. That seems like it's too much work. Here we are. And I'm basically on the lines of doing that because of all the medical research I had to do on my husband and learn and become a nurse by default. So I learned a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. And what I learned is that his condition is a little different than what I've heard in the past. So the way the doctor explained it, when I asked the question, why does he keep having strokes? Because he had four at this time. And they said, because he said, look at it like this. There's four major veins in your brain. There's two on the left, there's two on the right. Once those get clogged, that that causes strokes. And I was like,
Mhm.
well, how can I stop that? And he was like, well, we're going to put him on a medication that's going to help blood flow. And a light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, that's beats. I didn't say it to him, but mentally I was taking notes. So the way he explained it was like, let's say there's four lanes on a highway. Your husband's blood is only flowing through the fourth lane, and that fourth lane is cut in half. That's how much blood flow is actually getting to his through his actual veins. So they was like, you cannot prevent the strokes, but what you can do is you can help keep that one little lane open. So that's what I do. I help keep the one little lane open by giving him the juices that I give him. And on that's because he doesn't have what I have. He has diabetes, but I call it fake diabetes because he's only taking like 2 units of insulin, and then they're like, well, 2 units is not a lot. In my book, I was taking 60 units. So if he's taking two, it's the differential is enormous. So there was no way in the world I thought, well, he has diabetes, but he can control his with food. And that's what we're doing now is controlling his with food. His blood pressure is down. His blood pressure has never been more than 120 over 70 since I started the juicing. So I know for a fact that it works. And I only know this because I try it with different people. I also have a purple juice. There's a young lady that I know. She had rare cancer and they cut off her leg from her knee down.
Jeez.
To prevent further cancer, I make a juice that is purple and it has the benefits of purple cabbage outweigh regular cabbage by a landslide. So I incorporate purple cabbage and I make it taste great. The difference between my juices and anybody else's juices, I do not add any sugar. I use all natural, whatever the fruit yields, and every juice does not have to be sweet, but most of my juices have to be spicy. Why? Because that helps move everything in your lymphatic system and everything else that's going on. There's a particular juice that I make that you can actually take a gulp of, hold it in your cheeks for 1 minute, and then swallow it. Because if you know the right and left side of your inside of your mouth, there's like a little hole where this little like fluid comes out from.
Mhm.
and that fluid that comes out, if you hold this juice in your mouth for a minute and then swallow it, it helps get into your lymphatic system faster, which I'm also learning, so I'm practicing what I preach.
Yeah,
The is
they say there's something like below your the veins below under your tongue right there.
correct.
Uh, yeah, the veins below your tongue. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Correct. That's what it is. So now, basically, that I've that I've got the regiment down for my husband now, I was everybody else does, giving advice and not taking it. So I wasn't juicing for myself for months. Then I just decided, you know what? Let me try to do stuff for me. So when I went to the doctor out here because I had to change doctors, this lady was telling me things like, well, what are you doing? Because you lost a lot of weight, but your sugar was like still kind of high in the morning. It was like 140. She was like, for you not to be taking medicine, I don't know what you're doing, but I need you to keep doing it. She said, because
Yeah,
I do not want you on any diabetic medication, especially insulin. So I'm gonna need you to keep doing what you're doing. So I'm doing what I'm doing, but I learned that there are certain fruits that I can have that they've been telling me or lying to me about, and they're going to lie to you guys about the same thing. The fact of the matter is, you cannot put a band aid on the ocean and think that it's going to help anything. The,
yeah.
the sicknesses that we have, they are different in white people than they are in black people. Yes, we have things, but foods affect us differently. It just does.
And and if you look at it, we grew up eating different stuff, and the greasy cheeseburgers and the ham. Everything is seasoned with ham hocks and the fat and the ungodly amounts of salt, and you know every everything has to everything has to have, like, I love my wife to death, but she got to have a side for everything. You know, French fries and all of this stuff. We grew up on that, and now you can see all this gray on my hair, on my face. We're paying the price of, like you said, clogged arteries, clogged this, clogged that. 'Cause I remember what you used to look like, because we both been there, and I've got a before and after of me. And I've lost about 86 pounds, and I know exactly where you're coming from. And when it comes to the point where you're tired of being tired, and you can't fix everything, but you can, you cannot, I'm not saying put a band-aid, but you can start going towards the right path in life, and it will make you feel better. I know, like right now, I call them the old man socks. I call them old man socks because I didn't realize I've been driving since truck driving since 2011, and I didn't realize that I was supposed to have compression socks on since the day one. And my feet, oh, the circulation, my feet was always tingling and all kind of, and I even, there was one time I got scared. One of my big toes was purple. It was starting to get purple, and I'm like, whoa! I was getting scared. And I started reading up on it, and realized that I got to do something about that. And I just started to get tired of being tired. And it sounds like this is the same thing that you're going through, that you just got tired of being tired. And the thing is, uh and like we said in the chat, we are not professionals, but we're just giving you our story, and we're just telling you what we went through and what works for us. Do your own research, do your own homework, but this should be telling you something, because it's coming from the heart. And I'm telling you, I'm so proud of you, because I don't think I couldn't do it. I could not. I remember you was telling me the other day that you went into old folks home, and you were selling, you selling your juices. You told me one no, boy, and that would have been like I would have been done. I would have been done. Or I'd have came in there and said, "Can I help you?" And you just would have heard nothing because I would have been terrified. but but go ahead.
But see,
We
me
can continue.
folks home. The reason that I went to the old folks home in the beginning of my
Uh-oh, we lost her. Oh crap! It was getting good too. Let's see. Hold on. Lost the mic. Dang on it. Uh-oh. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, you're back.
okay, I'm here. The reason that I
No
went
problem.
at the begin the reason that I went to the old folks home is because I'm gonna become an old folk one day. And I understand that my grandmother and my grandfather are the ones that brought me up. So eventually I'm gonna be an old folk. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be the old folk that cannot tie my shoe or is having a limb cut off because I didn't pay attention or because I just wanted to have a cheat day. First of all, let me explain something to a lot of people that's actually listening or going to listen to this later.
Hmm.
I am currently um talking to, and I feel very blessed and highly favored that I can get on your channel and talk to you, because what people are going to find out is that, guess what? I have been friends with this guy Darren, and I met him in the summer of 1974, and we are still friends to this day. So I've known him for over 50 years. So for him to actually listen and put me on a podcast is a beautiful thing, because now I feel like I can get the word out. If people just would stop saying things like, I just need a cheat day. Well, who you cheating? You cheating yourself. You're not cheating nobody. When you eat that roll of chocolate chip, cookies or whatever you're eating, you're cheating yourself. There's a lot of things that women are going through right now with hot flashes and all kind of stuff. Listen, I am 55 years old. I have not had a hot flash, and I believe wholeheartedly it is because of the way I am eating and the way I am taking care of my body. I feel like that is what's going on. Now, I cannot say that I will not get a hot flash. What I am saying is that as of today, I just have not had them yet.
Yeah.
Some people start in their 30s, some people start in their 40s, some people start in their 50s.
Mhm.
If I can keep doing what I'm doing and prevent that from happening, who knows? All I know is that I have to pay attention to me and my body, and pay attention to the people that I love and know, and let everybody know that's listening or that will listen, your body can heal itself. You have to remember, everything starts with a seed. When you got here, you were perfectly fine. But then when the doctors start putting things into your system and giving you needles and stuff like that, I have three sons and none of them have never had the flu shot. You know why? Because my grandmother said, when they give your kids these shots, you need to pay attention. Is it something that is recommended, or is it preventative? Or is it mandatory? Because those words help me out a lot. And I have never had the flu shot, and I've never had the flu. My kids have never had the flu shot, and they have never had the flu. That's all I'm saying. Because they're giving you these shots. And I've also found out, stu- um, I'm, I'm going to jump around a little bit here,
No
but
problem.
I
We do.
also
That's
found
that's
out,
what we do around here.
right, I also found out that for every person that the hospital reports that had COVID, the hospital gets paid. For every person that they report that has high blood pressure, the hospital gets paid. For every, and I don't care who on here is a nurse, doctor. It doesn't. I don't care if you're married to the nurse or married to the doctor. Ask them, because this is what the hospitals told me, and I'm talking about from Hackensack, New Jersey, all the way down here to Inova, Alexandria. The
Mhm.
hospitals get paid every time they had to report that someone had COVID or that someone has high blood pressure. And if your top number is over like 140, they can report it, and then they're in cahoots with the pharmacy. So that the pharmacy has to give you what? Medication. There goes that band-aid over the ocean again. Your
Yeah.
body can heal itself. Have to you don't have you're not going to be able to do it in one day. It's called baby steps. And when you take the baby steps and you start to realize and notice and feel the difference, you keep going. I was always told by different doctors, don't don't drink orange juice. That is the truth. However, in my juices, I use everything I use has a seed,
Mm.
and everything I use is fresh. Everything I use is from a farm. I go to the farm, I get all my stuff, I wash it off. If I have to peel it, I have to peel it. Some of the carrots are so dirty, you have to shave the carrots. Some of the beets, there's no way you're getting that dirt off, so you shave the beet. When I mean, and when I have fresh ginger, all I'm using is a teaspoon to scrape off the skin of the ginger, and I don't even scrape it all off. I get like 90% of the skin off, and I juice everything. I decided to invest when I received my taxes. I decided to invest in me, and I decided to get me a juicer. I had a small juicer, but it was making noises, and I was like, you know what? This might be expensive, but I'm going to go for it and I'm going to get a juicer. So what I do is I get the juice. I have a juicer. I have a Nama J2, and I actually juice all the time. Every time I think about it, every time I have an event, I'm going to be juicing in another, I don't know, another 30 minutes or so. I'm just waiting for the supermarket to open because I was juicing last night and I ran out of oranges. So everything I use has a seed. I do incorporate beets with watermelon. I have different juices that I incorporate. I have juices that help fight cancer. They don't take away the cancer, but they help fight it.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
people don't realize is that these ladies with the hot flashes, y'all can get rid of the hot flashes. You just got to get rid of your bad habits. You can't eat spicy stuff, food, meat. You can't have like the fried chicken and the fried pork chops and this and that. And a lot of my friends are from those pretty islands.
Uh,
A lot of my friends are from those pretty islands, and
yeah.
trust me, they're having those hot flashes and stuff too. You know why? Because even though a lot of my West Indian friends, my Jamaican friends,
The
my
oxtails and
my
gravy.
yeah, all of that stuff with the oil and the this and the that, it's helping the hot flash along. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
incorporate apples, if you incorporate, yeah, it sounds corny, but guess what?
No.
My son was one of those people that had asthma. Nobody in my family has asthma, but for whatever reason, my oldest son had asthma. And I figured out I made him eat one apple every day. I don't care what kind of apple you pick. He ate an apple every day for a year. He is no longer on any medication that has to do with asthma. He used to laugh and get an asthma attack.
Jesus.
That didn't make any sense. So I had to start getting on the internet, listening to different people and researching them and just finding out. So I know for a fact that he currently, right now, is 27 years old and he has not been on any asthmatic medication for 10 years. Why? Because he's been eating an apple a day. He did it for a long stint. He did it for a year or over a year. And after that, he would periodically pick up an apple and eat it. All he had to do was wash it off. His favorite apple is the Gala apple. And that prompted me to make a drink with Gala apples. So I have plenty of drinks. I have a drink for men. Let me talk about it real quick. All you
Might have
men
thought
out
of this
there,
one.
all you men out there that swear
Ah!
that swear y'all were doing what y'all supposed to do, but in your 20s, when you had an erection, it used to be up in the air. When I mean up, I mean pointing at you in your face
Interesting.
up. But now you're not paying attention to your body. God
Okay.
made us all perfect from the beginning because you have to plant a seed in order to grow. So when you
Uh-huh.
grow and you get better, you know better. But
Yeah.
all of these men out here that are walking around and they're lying to themselves and they're having sex with their wives or their girlfriends and they're stuffing their stuff because they don't understand what's going on. It's because your body is talking to you and your body is telling you something, but you're not paying attention because you're embarrassed or you don't want to talk about it. But guess what? If you talk about it, you might be able to get some kind of help. And medicine ain't it. It's a hard no in a corner. You don't
Yes.
need no medicine. You need beets, and you need to incorporate beets with fresh fruit and vegetables. However, there is a key to getting that erectile dysfunction dead, and it, believe it or not, it is Brazil nuts. They do
Really?
not. Yes, sir. It is Brazil nuts. It is Brazil nuts, and it is watermelon rime. That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the key.
yeah, I do know.
Okay. So, in the event that anybody's listening and they don't want to say nothing, that's fine. But I'm telling you, if you get the mixed nuts and they happen, and one of the nuts in the mix happens to be Brazil nuts, you need to eat two and only two Brazil nuts a day because that's going to help you all the way through. So, I know for a fact that
Might
I
have to
make
buy a
a.
bushel. Go ahead.
Go ahead and buy the bushel, my brother. Go ahead and buy the bushel. Buy the bushel. Because what I learned about the men, and I'm going to talk about the ladies too. What I learned
Uh,
about the men is with the men, as far as that is concerned, and your body's talking to you and you're not listening, you have to get circulation and oxygen into your lymphatic system. So, the properties in the watermelon is what helps. But it's not just watermelon. It's watermelon, it's the rind, it's the beets. All of that stuff goes in. And then when you add a little bit of ginger in there, it helps everything
mm,
go to where it's supposed to go. But you have to consistently make this juice. And being that my best friend for 51 years is a truck driver, I have learned by talking to you that I know for a fact that you cannot just make juice on the road. However, if you go to any place that actually is a diner or can make some kind of juice, you might want to stop and get you, when you make a stop, you might want to get you some fruit and just eat it. You're not going to take a bite out of a beet. That is disgusting. However, the juices that I make, they only last 5 days tops. Why? Because they're fruit. It's real fruit. You cannot hold on to it longer than that because it will start to ferment and it will get bad and it's no good for you. As far as the diabetes, my diabetics, my type 2 diabetics, and as far as my people that have the blood flow issue and the weight loss issue and they don't have the energy. Do you know that people that go to the gym come out and they need to be replenished? You know why they need to be replenished? Because they just lost all their electric lights. And the first doofy thing they do is try to go get Gatorade. Gatorade is loaded with salt. Yes,
yeah,
your
that's
body needs
poison.
salt, but it don't need that much. You're gonna
Yeah,
get headaches and all kind of other stuff. Pay attention. Read the back of the bottle. It is horrible. A lot of times, if we just drink spring water instead of all these other funny looking waters, it helps. Yeah,
yeah.
because if you flush, and the only way you can start this process is to flush your system out. You flush your system out by drinking all water for like 3 days. And then after the first day, it's going to become mental. Like you're going to have to talk yourself into it. But after you do that, trust me, then you can start incorporating certain things, but you have to eat a salad a day. I don't care what kind of salad you pick. Pick a salad a day. But the dressing is the death of us.
Yes, it's like
That's
the
the
5
problem.
gallons of ranch or something like
Yeah,
that.
you're drowning the salad, and that doesn't make any sense. You might as well just eat the ranch. You might as well just drink it. What are you doing? It doesn't, doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we doing here? There are other
Uh-huh.
foods that can be that there are other foods that can be incorporated into your daily diet, whether you're on the road, whether you're in an old folks home, whether you're too old to be walking across a street, or you don't have the money to do certain things. There's certain things in your house that you can use and incorporate, and even down to a hot drink. If you have oranges, lemon, turmeric, cinnamon sticks, and cloves, you can boil all that stuff in a pot and just drink it.
What I
Mhm.
found that the cinnamon sticks is very um that's a super anti-inflammatory. It just ain't
Of
an
course it
anti.
is.
It's a super one. I put it in my. I drink mushroom coffee. I actually drink mushroom coffee and kind of boost it with a little Bustelo in the morning, and I'm down to just 1 cup a day. But I mean, it just it's just certain things. What I wanted to tell you though is the the company that I keep on YouTube, the main group of people that I hang around with is the gardening community, and all of these people, including my my main moderator, Mike's Chaotic Gardener. This guy lives up in, I believe, north of Michigan, if Mike correct me. He grows everything it throughout his freaking house, man. I mean, this guy has like this whatever garden. He grows everything. And you said the magic word, the healthy, the vegetables and the stuff like that. And I'm kind of more encouraged now after speaking with you. It makes me want to go get some beets, and it makes me want to I can I'm gonna be moving into a new truck soon, and I might not might I'm kind of pushing towards it now. I'm gonna get me some. I got another refrigerator. Oh, Minneapolis. He's up there, Prince. Oh, sorry, but I'm, I'm gonna start thinking to incorporate this juicing thing. Uh, uh, it sounds very intriguing to me, and like I said, finally, stuff is actually going decent for me. I want to be around. And when you said about a cheat day, I had one heck of a cheat day yesterday, and I'm like, I'm feeling guilty when you say it, and I was like, oh my god, she's talking about me, and like I'm feeling so guilty. I get, it's just I was feeling so guilty. I'm like, she's talking about me. But the the thing is, so like right now, guys, she does not have a YouTube channel. I asked Andre to come up so that she could see the possibilities of having a YouTube channel. Um, and we would talk about that. There's the good, bad, and the ugly about it, but it's possible you could use this as a stepping stone for once you if you decide to start a channel, and like with this place is called StreamYard. You can get this for free. You can actually stream this to YouTube and to I think uh you're also to um not not you could do Facebook or Instagram. So you can actually do both at the same time while having a discussion or whatever, or if you wanted to do live or stuff like that. But it's part of your marketing, and when you get bigger, you get stuff like people will email you because on you when you put in your you know in your YouTube, uh, it describes who you are. You put your email address, whatever, and they will request, "Would you like to try this? Would you like to try that?" I Because I do a lot of mowing and stuff. People want to give me free lawnmower blades. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, I'll take this. So there's possibilities that you could it that uh and from there they ask other things. I had one company. I was like, nah, I think you got the wrong channel. They wanted me to test out the purple pounder. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm like, uh-oh. I don't think I don't think you got the right channel here. We lost her again, but that's what usually goes on around here. She's back. Hold on. Where is my back on?
All right,
Back
there we go.
again.
There we go.
Uh, yeah, okay, but see, this is see, a lot of people would be upset. I keep on losing her. That's the thing about YouTube. That's the thing about this channel, my channel. What could go wrong will go wrong. It
Right,
happens
but
all the time.
we're all human, and this is what has to happen. Things gotta come and go. Things gotta
Okay,
come and go.
and Crooked Piece just came the- into the into the chat. This is another good friend of mine. She don't play when it comes to living healthy and being healthy. She has one heck of a garden, and everything that you said, she will love you. Crooked Pete don't be playing because and I be trying to get away with stuff, and she be like, "That's poison! Don't eat that! That's poison! Don't tell what's the matter with you." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, Crooked." Sorry.
Because it's the
But
truth. Basically,
yeah,
when you listen to her and you actually incorporate anything that she does, trust and believe me, she's most likely either going through it, watching somebody go through it, or doing something different.
exactly. And her testimony is the same thing. She had a big bag of nothing but medications and stuff like that, and got tired of being tired. Got tired of being tired, and and goes the route that you're talking about. You know, she just said it in the chat. I don't know if you can see the chat from your side. There's all the
No,
fake passion, and there should be a little spot on the. I'm not sure if I can show you, but I'll put it on the main screen. All that fake passion food, real food is medicine. Yep,
let me tell
yep.
you
And she
something.
said,
They got this. I went to a store, and they were selling seedless lemons. I thought that was hilarious, and people were actually buying it. I couldn't even buy it. But if you're gonna use the fake stuff, then don't at all because it doesn't pay off in the short run or the long run. It just
mm.
doesn't make any sense. Did I disappear or something?
"No, no, are you still there? I see you.
Yeah, yeah. As
Yeah,
long as you can hear me.
yeah, yeah. No, you're still there. You're still there.
There's a lot of people that's using beet powder, seedless lemons, seedless watermelons. I even seen somebody talk about a seedless mango. I almost did a backflip in the
Oh,
store
really?
because I couldn't believe it. The people out here are selling the things, and if you don't pay attention and you're eating the things, the best thing for you to do is start small. I don't care if you have little pots that you can grow seasonings and basil and whatever else you need. in your actual house in a pot, but you need to just start doing something that's going to help you with whatever. I don't care if it's, you can start with just the basic cilantro and parsley.
Mhm.
If that's what you want to, that's what you grow. I use a lot of does. I know the
Oh, lost her again. Yeah. And crooked. You're right. No shortcut is healthy. None of them. That is the magic word. It's always what uh it. You're right. Here we go again.
all
Welcome,
right.
welcome back again. Welcome back again. But this is again. But like you said, the can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. The the living right and the being right is just it's a part of what needs to be done nowadays. It's a part of what needs to be done nowadays. And I'm so proud of you that you found a, a a different way, but a better way. You know what I'm saying? I'm so proud of you that you found that. Let's see what. Yeah, and that it is helping you get your numbers down. It's helping you get your husband's numbers down. Um, that you are selling. You're selling your juices to the masses. Um, my prayer that you grow and keep growing and you know to get to the point where because you sounded like a doc with a Dr. CB or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm actually listening. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta try that next. Or I gotta
Yeah,
figure
well,
out
I
that.
mean, I don't have nothing to hide because I know how I feel and I know what works and I tried it on different people and I have a bunch of people around me that are willing to, I give out free testers when I go out and just see, a lot of people, they might be like, "Oh, this is too spicy. Oh, this is that." Okay, well, you know what? You paying for your prescription or you paying for your health? One or the pick a side. Pick your
Yeah.
poison because it's basically what's happening to us. And before I forget, I did not forget about the ladies.
Hmm.
I have spoken to numerous amounts of women and on top of them going through the menopause with the hot flashes and stuff like that, and there's certain foods that they need to eat, that they need to incorporate in their daily, everyday, just going around the corner to the store. Yeah, get yourself some cucumbers, start incorporating them. If you have type 2 diabetes, you might want to try the cucumbers and you might want to try to take the skin off. I know it sounds a little weird, but just try it.
Wait a
Try it
minute.
with
Take
the skin on and try it with the skin off.
and what fruit was that again?
Cucumber.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Cucumber is hydration. So when you hear certain people say things like, eat your water, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about cucumbers. They're talking about things that yield high in water.
Mm.
There's no, oh, I see it now. Crooked Peach, she said there's no shortcut to healthy. None of them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yep.
That is the problem that a lot of people are quick fix. You're not Instagram ready. You're not internet ready. You're a you're a human being and you need to take time with your body. And your body starts shutting down and telling you things like I was talking about the men with this erectile
Yeah.
eat certain things and because
Ah, I knew it. It was coming. We'll, she'll be back in just a minute. Sorry about the interruptions, but we are big time states over. She's coming from Maryland, and we're down here in Georgia. Georgia. There we go. Back again.
looking, I'm looking like
Yeah,
I'm coming back in.
yeah, you're on. You're on.
All right,
but,
so
but go ahead.
in the but the men, they just have to start incorporating the two Brazil nuts. You don't want to eat more than two because that'll throw you into something else, and I don't know the medical term of it, but Brazil nuts is that's what you have to do. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm telling you what's happening. I mail juice to a 80-year-old man and he is back in business. So what I'm telling you guys is that you have to just pay attention and do a little bit at a time. The juices only last for 5 days because everything is fresh. For the
Yeah.
ladies, that going through this dry crotch and they don't know what's going on, you ladies, let me tell you something. You think the guys don't like beets? Let me tell you what we don't like. Okra. However, I don't care if you count it as 16 ounces or you count it as 2 cups. You need to dice up some fresh okra, put it in a 32-ounce jar, and do not fill the jar up with the okra. Cut up the okra, put it in the jar until it goes halfway, and then take spring water and fill up the jar, cover it, let it sit for like 24 hours at least. Then out of that jar, pour out your 16 ounces or your 2 cups, however you want to count it. I don't care if you have to hold your nose. Drink that okra water and do it for 5 days in a row. Your boyfriends, your husbands, they will be like, what in the world is going on? Because everything is great.
Gotcha.
Trust and believe me, ladies, you
Gotcha.
will be happier. You will, a lot of ladies don't want to say anything, but a lot of ladies do not take a dump. A
Oh
lot
my
of
God.
ladies, a lot of ladies are not taking a dump and they don't understand why because they're not incorporating okra water. And after you finish with the okra water, you might want to take the okra. I don't care how you season it, put it in a pot, do something and eat it. Waste not,
Mhm.
want not.
Yeah.
Trust and believe me. There are some people that love okra and there's some people that hate it. I am the hater. However, however, even though I am the hater, I do drink okra water. I'm on my
Uh,
3rd day. I just hold my
uh,
nose. I pour out my 16 ounces. I drink my okra water every day. That is not the only benefit. It prevents the dry crotch. It also helps you take a poop, and it doesn't it doesn't help that your skin is going to be glowing because you actually have to move things through your big intestines and your small intestines. You can't just be like, "Oh, I need a colonoscopy every week." No, there's foods that help these things move along, and if you don't eat the foods, what do you think's going to happen? Everything's going to start backing up.
yeah.
The major parts of your body is that we are losing people. I'm tired of losing people and going to funerals for people that are my age or younger because they just will not change the way they eat. So when you see these men walking around and they're talking about, oh, I got this girlfriend, that girlfriend, listen, ladies, when you go to a guy's house, I don't care if it's your boyfriend, your friend, whatever, and he
Uh-oh.
doesn't have any fruits in his house, never, you need to start bringing fruits to him if you care. I'm just saying, men, same thing. Stop going to see these women, or these women are coming by and, nobody's eating no fruit nowhere. But then you see the men looking pregnant and nobody knows why. Yeah, because they don't take a dump. Every time you eat something, you're supposed to take a dump. So if you're eating stuff that's clogging you up, you're not going to take a dump. Most
Mhm.
Americans and anybody else besides Americans, anybody walking, if you eat something, if you eat breakfast and you don't take a dump, and you eat lunch and you don't take a dump, you eat dinner, you do not take a dump. You take a dump at night because, oh my gosh, I didn't want to take a dump in this public place. Well, then maybe you should stop eating so much. Because if you like me, I have started my journey where I'm trying to train myself to eat every other day.
Uh-huh.
And it's hard as all outdoors. However, I'm getting used to it. And what I eat, when I eat, I take a dump.
Mhm.
If let's just say today I'll eat once, like I'm talking about an actual, like I'm biting and chewing food,
Mhm.
I'm going to take a dump once. That wasn't happening after I had my kids. After I had my kids, they took my color, my eyelashes, my eyebrows, some enamel out of my teeth. They just robbed me and I didn't even see it coming. Now that they are here and they're out, you can't get robbed by the kids anymore. You
Uh-huh.
have to, anything that has a label on it and it's, you can read and it has a whole little panel. You might want to start staying away from those things. If you can grab it and eat it, trust and believe me, it's always better for you.
Yeah.
And for the people that are listening,
Mhm.
red bell peppers are a lot more healthier than the green bell peppers. If you don't believe me, try to eat one. I don't care if you cook it. You might not want to cook it. But just like you see people having like celery sticks to dip and they're dipping it in whatever sauce, make a sauce and try to slice red peppers and green peppers and use that as your stick. You'll notice the difference. Trust and believe me. So, men, the watermelon rind, the two Brazil nuts, the beets, it's all going to help you out. Ladies, the okra water is going to help you out and it's going to help you take a poop. And you're trying to figure out why you can't get rid of your fupa or whatever it is that you have. I've got one. Trust and believe me. It's not going nowhere, honey. It is a package deal, and I'm trying my best to get rid of it,
I know that's right.
but I'm working on it. I'm working on it, and I'm only working on it because I like the way my clothes fit now. So,
Uh-huh.
another part of my little story is I lost all the weight and didn't understand why I couldn't stop losing weight. What happened
Mhm.
was when I went to the doctor, they said I had this thyroid going on in my throat. That was messing me all up and it was making me lose too much weight on my journey of losing weight. So
Uh-huh.
I went from 210 pounds to 154 pounds. And I got scared because everything was looking wiggly, shaky, wrong,
Yeah.
messed up, in clothes, out of clothes. It was just a total disaster of what I was looking at in the mirror. However, when I went to the doctor and I started taking that medicine, I was only on it for a short time. That is something else that I'm going to read into and try to figure out how to deal with that. But I know that certain medications are no good.
Mhm.
Your food is the only medication that you need, but if you do not start incorporating it, you will never know and you will never find out. Doctors are going to give you medication because that is what they're supposed to do. They're not wrong. You're wrong. You're the person that's getting the medication. You're the person that's standing on the line at CVS getting more medication. How much medication do you think? All that medicine don't work. If it did, you would only go to the pharmacy one time and leave. It does not work for you. You have to understand this is not a overnight, you're not an overnight success. It didn't take overnight to get you here. It's not going to take overnight to keep you here. So you have to work at something. And if you
Yeah.
love yourself and if you are whatever your belief is, whatever you believe in, believe that everything started with a seed, and also believe that you're doing a dishonor to your body when you're not paying attention to it. How do you say how I got some fake Christian friends. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I love the Lord and I'm giving up my 10% and Well, okay, you're doing all of that, but then you're in the parking lot and you're eating a bag of pork skins. How are you honoring? What are you honoring? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're just out there and then you're sweating. There was a lady I used to work with at Amtrak. I'm not going to say her name because I don't remember it. But however, she was an older lady and I was a chef on a train and she used to come to the diner and certain days she would just come to the diner and bust out sweating. And I used to call her two times. And one of my friends was like, "Why you keep calling her two times?" I said, "First of all, does she not realize that she has on a wig and a hat? She has on a wig and she put a hat on top of the wig. And then when she goes, when she busts out sweating because she's having a hot flash, she has
uh,
to be extremely miserable.
uh,
That has to be extremely miserable. There's no way in the world you can be comfortable. And then you wonder why, when you see these ladies, and I see a lot of ladies that look really, really good with their bald heads or with their short haircuts or with their Halle Berry haircuts. It's more of a necessity for them to have those haircuts because of the hot flashes, because nobody
mm,
wants to walk around with wet hair or wet back or, wet underarm boobs. They don't want to walk around with that. So they
uh,
can't do that. So they have to figure out a way. And you see some of these men, the men too, they're walking around, they're eating,
I
they're at
got
the
bad food.
cookouts. They're at they're at the cookouts eating all the dead products and wonder why they're sweating like a bull. You out there trying to dance, you're doing a 1-2 step, but you're sweating as if somebody took a bucket of water and smacked you in the back of the head.
I
Now,
see. Look. You're talking about me here.
see, and I haven't been around you since I saw you and Norma at
Yeah,
Vincent's
yeah,
wedding. So
yeah.
what I'm talking about is what I see in every person that I bump into. And I go to these places and they're always trying, the 4th of July just happened. I did not even cook out because I'm going to a family cookout that's coming up at FDR Park in New York. And trust and believe me, what I bring to put on the grill, I'm guaranteeing you it will go and it has absolutely nothing to do with meat. We're not going to be out there with the bugs. Yes, I'm going to be out there. However, I don't look my age because I don't feel old. That's number 1. Number 2 is because it makes me happy to know that I have the knowledge and I can do something better. So, I'm basically oh, I see I see Crooked Peach said they're trained in medicine, not in human biology or nutrition. And that
Yep,
is 100% fact.
yep.
That is a fact. That's what they're trained in. So don't get mad at the doctors when they tell you have to get on this medication and all the other medications. What you need to do is take that information, swallow your pride, get to a farm. I don't care whose farm it is, and start buying things that you can eat in your hand. As a type 2 diabetic, I know for sure I am not supposed to be juicing pineapples. However, I can eat all the berries I want by hand. Any berry, any berry.
Yeah.
And the darker the berries, the better it is for me. So whether it's raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, juniper berries. I don't care what kind of berry you find. And if there's stores around you that don't have berries, find one. Ask somebody, reach out. And no, I cannot make the same juices every season. I only use the fruits that are in season. I only use the vegetables that are in season. All of these hybrids and all of these um things that spray with all this pesticides. And yes, I clean off all of the stuff that I get, and I really have to because most of it is in the dirt. But even when I don't get the ones out of the dirt, I still wash them off anyway. Everybody's touching them. You see the guys that load the fruit up, 90% of them do not wear gloves. So you're eating whatever they scratched, whatever they touched, you're eating all of that. You need to wash off everything, every single fruit. And now that it's summertime, trust and believe me, they're moving fast and they're putting their fruits out there and they're doing what they have to do. If you're going to a regular local store, wash off all your fruit and vegetables. There's bugs, there's dirt, there's everything going on in there. Just wash everything off. And if you try a little bit at a time, trust me, you have to listen to your body. Your body talks to you. It doesn't have to have a voice. It'll stop you in your tracks. If you don't pay attention to it, it'll slow you down. If you don't pay attention to it, it'll affect your breathing. If you don't pay attention to it, your urine will start changing colors. Your body's talking to you and you're not listening.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. We have hit the 1 hour mark,
Very
and
good.
yep, I just because I know you actually got to get to work uh, juicing because you have a show that you're doing later on this morning, and I actually have to get on the road. I got to get my stuff together, and get on the road, and get up out of here. But Cooking Pizza just asked, "You need to stop being so stupid. We require wash me stickers on watermelons." Um, Crooked, she does not have a channel yet. I am trying to convince Andrea uh start a channel, um, start a YouTube channel. Miss T was actually in the house, and I don't know she's probably gone. But that Miss T with the T is the one that started me on this adventure, this
Okay.
YouTube thing, and that is the main spot where you. It's called networking. Once you get a channel, you can actually get out here and um, you, you've got some people that want to see you and hear from you already, and there is a genre. You're in the perfect place where you need to be, Andrea. Uh, I just wanted to say thank you for coming in and thank you for talking with me. I feel guilty. I might fast today just because. Come on, Chuck. I had yesterday. And drink me some water and get me some spring water. I've been listening, but your journey is uplifting because a lot of people would honestly slit their throat. I mean, because when you're going through stuff, people would go running for the hills, and I understand where you're coming from, and I'm so proud of you that you found your niche and your understanding of what you needed to do. You are always welcome. So anytime you would like to come up and talk some more about healthy living and your company, and let me make sure tell us name
All right.
Andrea.
Anybody listening? If you can still
Hello.
hear me, you go to Presley Pressed,
Yep.
Presssley, Presley Pressed on Instagram, Presley Pressed on, well, not on Facebook. I'm working on that. But I'm Andrea Bland on
Okay.
Facebook and I
Oh, we lost losing her again.
post both places.
Okay.
Darren is definitely going to help me out so that I can get a YouTube channel because I just don't know how. However, I love learning. So
We lost her again. One more time. We're gonna give one more time. There she is. There she is again. Okay, we got you one more time.
all
Yeah,
right. So
get your son to help you. Set up your YouTube channel, and you do it. You can do it from your phone and everything else. But
you know
uh,
what? Low key, I think my sons are kind of jealous of what's going on because they don't want to help me. They want the old lady to figure it out. But you know what? When I figure it out, they're gonna be right there. I don't care about
it's,
those punks.
exactly. And like I said, you've got other people and people like I've learned so much from folks on YouTube. And you can actually watch how to start a YouTube channel, and things like that. But I'm gonna let you go because, like I said, I gotta get to work, and I just want to say thank you for being a part of this live. It was very, very informative, and now I'm gonna start looking at buying me some vegetables and some. I might get me a big old gallon of prune juice and start drinking. But
Get the prunes, don't get the prune juice. Get
gotcha.
the beets, don't get the beet powder. Don't get the
Yeah,
beet powder, get the beets.
gotcha. I'm gonna let you go. And again, I said thank you for coming in and giving me a wonderful, informative hour. This is this is was great, and and anytime you want to come up, you're more than welcome. Just let me know, and we'll set up a date and time so we can talk some more. So,
For
other
sure.
than that, I will catch you later, and you
All right.
enjoy the rest of your morning. And I
For
gotta figure
sure.
out
You
why
too.
my.
Y'all be safe out there.
All right, thanks. Let's see how
Yep. Later.
later. Let's see how. Let's see why my thing is. And I lost it. There we go. All right. Righty. Okay, and guys, as always, I just want to thank you for being a part of my live and what a Wait a minute, let me post that. What a bunch of buttheads you wipe their booty for. All right, guys, thank you for being part of this. I really wonderful live that we just had. And as always, if you don't think nobody loves you, know that I love you. God loves you. Y'all have a blessed day. I will see you guys Monday. Deuces. And listen, and I gotta get to work. Don't you just love it?